Hello value investors, thank you for joining me. My name is Michael from Deep Value Returns on Seeking Alpha. Today I want to talk about Bed Bath & Beyond and why I believe that Bed Bath & Beyond is a really interesting investment. So we have a lot to go through here, but essentially we are talking about businesses turning around its business model and is really cheaply valued, okay? And it makes a lot of free cash flow and it's actually growing its digital operations. So let's just get right into it, right? So when Bed Bath & Beyond reported their Q1 results they were coming against the Q1 from last year. So obviously last year when everything was, closed for them, they were always going to come up with very strong performance this quarter. But this is not the full story, right? So what Bed Bath & Beyond is trying to do, they're trying to grow their top line at low single-digit multiple. So you're not talking about a very highly fast growing top line, but if we look below that top line, there's a lot here to be excited about the company. So this is what I want to put out there. Bed Bath & Beyond has this figure that they have this target of reaching 850 to a billion of EBITDA by 2023, okay? Let's just use for our discussions 900 million, okay? So this is towards the low end of what they can do. However, keep in mind that since Mark Triton came on, CEO Mark Triton, they have back in 2019, they've had this history of putting guidance and beating the guidance, and they just very consistently, they've been very shrewd about this, and they've been very conservative, and they've always delivered on what they've been saying. So I think that target is a very realistic, a very tangible target of what they can do. And if they continue over the next several quarters to show this to investors that they can continue to make progress towards the 2023 target, I believe that there will be a substantial amount of re-rating, because Bed Bath & Beyond is viewed by many, it's like GameStop, it's like AMC, it's a meme stock. It is not that. There's so much more to it than that. I don't know how it even got caught up with that mania. Its underlying operations are very solid. So they are pivoting, and right now they got 38% of their revenues coming from digital sales. Now, if you think about it, that's 2 billion in revenues coming from digital sales, where they're competing online. Many people said that Bed Bath & Beyond would never be able to compete online because it's just too difficult. Well, the facts contradict that narrative. If you bring in 2 billion in revenue, that shows that you have a very strong brand and the consumers resonate. Consumers are looking out for your digital footprint, and they're spending quite a lot on your products. So I think that there's a lot here that once you start to dig in, what people seem to believe by looking at the share price and what actually is its underlying performance is two different things. Now, admittedly, on the surface, you would think, okay, so Bed Bath & Beyond is moving towards online. It's not going to be as profitable as when it has its physical stores and you go in and you pick out whatever you want, and they're able to have for you to have some impulse buys. But actually the facts show that they're actually moving their gross margins higher over time. And that's surprising, right? And the reason why that's happening is that they're investing quite significantly in their own brands. So they've got 6 own brands coming up in 2021, but they're investing very aggressively here. Obviously, if you have your own brands, you don't have to pay any third parties to design and manufacture that. So that's going to push up their gross margin. And you can see here, there's this progression. You can see from 2021 where they're guiding for 35% gross margins, and that's going to be expanding. So you got top line growing at a low single digits, then you got the expansion of gross margins. So already there's going to be some operating leverage happening right here, right? And then the last thing that really is going to move the needle on the thesis here. So it's a bit complicated, this graph that I've got here, but for Q1 they've already bought back 130 million shares, okay? So for the remainder of the year, they're buying back approximately 195 million, okay? So in this year alone, Bed Bath & Beyond is repurchasing 12% of its market cap. If you add here to the 300 million that they're going to be repurchasing over the next 2 years, altogether we're talking about approximately 24% of its market cap to be repurchased, close to a quarter. Now you got some stock-based comp being thrown in there, but let's say for our discussions we're talking approximately about 20% of its market cap going to be repurchased over the next 3 years. Okay, so here's some figures. So the market cap right now is 2.7 billion. If they repurchase, let's say, approximately 20% of its market cap, we come into kind of about 2.1 billion. Now let's say that they come up and they reach that EBITDA target of 900 million that we discussed before. So in all intents and purposes, this thing is trading for less than 3 times its 2023 EBITDA target. So this is a profitable enterprise. We're not talking about 3 times sales, we're talking about 3 times EBITDA 2023. And it's not going to just dwindle away, this business. And I think that the investors are just so doom and gloom, anything to do with COVID, or no one wants really to get involved in retail where there's so many more exciting opportunities out there. But this is just becoming so cheap that it's just unavoidable. At some point, it becomes a total no-brainer. So anyway, these type of stocks that I'm invested in. So obviously in the intro disclosure, I am here and I could sell out at any point without giving you any notification. But this type of investment, and if this is the type of idea that resonates with you, come and check out my marketplace. I'm not going to replace you and your portfolio strategy. I'm just going to give you a source of ideas. Every month or so, you can come up and say, okay, this looks interesting. You kind of pick and choose what you want of my investment ideas, and someone's out there doing all that due diligence for you. What's more is that you might not have the time and inclination. Life gets in the way. You might be able to you need someone to kind of give you investment ideas. So check out our marketplace. We've got a growing investment community, and hopefully you'll stick around. If I forgot to mention, there's a totally free trial. You're welcome to do that. And if you like it, you stick around after the 14 days. And if you don't like it, unsubscribe, and you're not going to get